Hi, all. we're we're talking about Monday the 27th. Jim.
Thank you. So, it's been a long day. We're kind of slap happy, as you can tell. We couldn't remember what day we were talking about, but we're talking about the 27th. And the 27th of February started out in Fox Glacier. Yeah.
Yeah, a top 10, one of their holiday parks.
Right.
With electricity and everything, showers, hot showers.
So this is the village associated with the longest New Zealand glacier, at least in the South Island, called Fox Glacier. And we wanted to do some look-arounds on it. And so the first place that we went was a place called Lake Matheson. And Lake Matheson was touted as providing these mirror-like reflections and fantastic views up to the glacier.
Right, but we never saw the glacier.
Right.
A nice walk, though, around the lake.
Right.
Beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful
we had a
lake.
great walk.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple miles around. It took us, I guess it was around 3 miles around. Took us an hour and a half.
Lots of moss-covered rocks. It was real green, beautiful.
Yeah. We'd been used to being on the dry side of the island, and here they get a lot of rain, and not the 32 feet that I mentioned before, but I edited it out.
Oh, you did edit that out. Good.
Well,
Good.
Anyways,
yeah,
they get a lot of rain, and so it's really mossy and really a beautiful walk around.
And it was a sunny day. Hey.
Yeah.
We've been hitting the weather great.
And then when we got back to the start of that trail, we had lunch at a cafe.
Yes.
And I had a spectacular BLT. It was really good. And the bacon in it was like Canadian, what we call Canadian bacon.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, anyway, it was fantastic. And you had a venison roll.
Yeah, really different. It's like venison with vegetables stir-fried in it, and then it was wrapped in phyllo dough and baked. It was very good.
Yeah. And you had some kombucha and some cappuccino.
And a cappuccino.
Yeah. We had a pretty
We did okay on
substantial lunch
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we drove to another place called Glacier View, and by God, we could see the glacier from there. It was further out, but the angle that it provided allowed us to see Fox Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an interesting little site out there because they had this kind of memorial to the Maori wakas, the canoes. And so they had made the sculpture out of steel of the front, the bow, the stern, and the middle part.
Mm-hmm.
And you could look up it to Fox Glacier, which was
really so artistic and creative.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing.
Yeah, so that was really neat, and you could see Fox Glacier from there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got back in the car, and we drove to Franz Joseph Glacier. It was about a half hour further down the road, something like that.
Something like that. And that's the other big glacier in that area.
Yeah.
And we stopped and we had to hike out to see it. But it wasn't a long hike.
And we didn't get very close.
That's the one the guidebook told me I would be able to get close to, but they don't let you do that anymore. And what they said is that it's dangerous to get too close because chunks of ice fall off the glacier and rocks. So they don't let you get very close anymore.
Right. Plus, they had a big. The trail was washed out.
Yeah.
The trail was washed out. So the closest that we could get to it was 3,000 meters. So that's 9,000 foot. So almost 2 miles.
Was it that far?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But with the lens, telephoto lens, it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it was an interesting walk there and back. And we decided that we were going to continue the drive up to a town called
Hokitika.
And I was tired of driving. I'd been doing a lot of driving. And so Terry drove because it was afternoon. I'd been getting tired in the afternoons. And so we had more of that rocky, just, difficult coastline, and then came out on a pretty flat coastal plain where they have a lot of dairy industry. But Terry had to do that difficult driving.
Some of it was quite difficult, especially with a stick. So I had to downshift, and it wasn't easy to get into second, and then third and fourth. So anyway, I did stall it out on one incline, but hey, it worked. We did it, or I did it.
Yes, you did.
So it was an accomplishment.
It was. It's always hard because you're sitting on the wrong side. You're sitting on the right side. So you're shifting with your left hand.
Right.
So it's the same gear shift pattern, but it's with the left hand instead of the right hand. And the foot pedals are the same. So your left is on the clutch and your right is on the accelerator and brake. But it just gets confusing sometimes. And that's a difficult transmission in this vehicle. So once we got to Hokitika, we went out for a walk on the beach. We had a really nice
little place.
Yeah, it's
called Shining Star. Yeah.
We liked this
and it was
place.
like old log buildings. It's really, really nice, cute.
Anyways, we went out on the beach. It's a gray sand beach. The sand is, from the mountains, and so it's like granite sand. It's very unusual. And we walked into town for dinner.
We did, along the beach.
Yeah, it was probably a couple miles.
And there were a lot of stones. Probably was. There were a lot of stones on this beach. So the stones were fun. I picked up some, and that was fun. Threw some in the ocean. That was fun.
I took pictures of them. That was fun. Yeah. There was also huge amounts of driftwood. I think they have big bonfires on that.
Yeah, it looked like somebody was setting one up on the beach.
Anyways, so we got into town, and the first restaurant we went to was fully booked, and anyways, we ended up going to
Stumpers. Okay. Stumpers.
We've been calling it everything. I've been calling it Struggles.
Yeah, he called it Struggles. I thought it was Stomper. You think it's Stumper?
Stumpers.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay. I had some pretty terrible pasta.
It really didn't taste very good.
It was like, God, what was it? Not even a rigatoni. Anyways.
The sauce was like something you get out of a jar.
Like Velveeta sort of thing. yeah, it was not good. And Terry had white bait fish.
Yeah, she said that was a local delicacy. So it was in a patty, she said, and it's white bait fish. And so they're small fish. But what happened is it came out like an omelet. So there's like a fish omelet. And it wasn't to my liking so much, but I'm sure the locals like it.
Yeah, because they cooked it up in egg.
Yeah.
And the fish were like small anchovies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was served over French fries.
Yeah, it was served over French fries. This omelet was served over French fries.
But they did have Mount Difficulty Pinot Noir to drink.
They did.
That saved the meal.
Yeah, right.
And then we had the long walk back to camp and did some videos and collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the 27th. Love you.
Love.
Bye.